Welcome to Dodgers Daily Down on the Farm. So glad that you decided to tune in. It's a great day to be a Dodger. And hey, today what we're going to do, we're going to spend a lot of time in Rancho. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about Carson Hobbs at the Great Lakes level. But what we're going to do today is going to be concentrated. Mostly we've talked about, a lot of the Eduardo Quintero, the Kellen Lindsays, the Yoendry Vargases. We've talked about them quite a bit. We're going to talk about some of their pitching. And a guy that you really need to know about that has had just a great beginning of the year. And this is Shawn Paulino. I mean, you got to be kidding me. This dude is absolutely plowing through Cal League hitters to the tune of, how about for Shawn Paulino, an ERA of 0.87 in his first 4 starts. And this is the big one, 40 strikeouts, just 4 walks. I mean, wow. You talk about just very, very good strike thrower. We talked about the other day that Rancho's actually been the team in the organization that has done the best job of putting the ball in the strike zone, and you can thank Shawn Paulino for a lot of that. So what you're seeing here, the ball moves. It's a ball that is in the strike zone, but he uses movement, and then you can see the four seam at the top of the zone. That's about 90 to 94, but the movement plus all the location makes its fastball very deceptive, and then he buries that breaker. And he does not just a good job of getting the ball in the zone and having control, but he also commands the zone with his locations inside the zone. See there? See that movement, that right turn, and then the location on the outside corner. That is Shawn Paulino. And then you see the opposite of that. So you saw a right turn getting to the outside corner. Then you saw a left turn getting to the inside corner. Now you've seen him hop the ball back over the plate. That is advanced sequencing for a guy at the single A level. Let me show you this one more time. You see the ball turn right, outside corner. Now you're looking for a right turn. You're wanting to cover the outside part of the plate. Turn it left, inside corner. What do you do to keep the hitter off balance? You hop the ball back over the inside part of the plate. Start it on his front hip and let the ball work back over. There's some sequencing there that kind of shows you why Shawn Paulino has been so good. And then also, really his calling card is his plus changeup. And he can use the changeup, well, we saw it, where he can hop it back over the plate. He can fade it to the outside corner. He can do all sorts of things with it. He can tumble it underneath swings. And then his slider's a pitch that he just added, and it just adds deception and just gives him another pitch that he can use to get the ball in the strike zone, which is something that he does over and over and over, and something that he does very well. So I wanted to cover Shawn Paulino on today's show because we have not given him enough coverage. 40 strikeouts and only 4 walks. He has an ERA well under 1, a whip that is just as good too. And this is a left-hander out of the University of Miami. This is Miles Cabba, and he can drop some bombs with his breaking ball. That's absolutely no doubt about it. And then he likes to ride that little 2-seam / sinker. I did message him and asked him if he could get into the details of his mix. He preferred not to, which is totally awesome. See that breaking ball there, kind of that east and west slider type pitch. So I don't know the exact name of his pitches, but you can see he has a sweeping slider, just like a lot of lefties do. A good fastball that carries the bottom of the zone. So he's going to be a ground ball. Then he can bury that slider too to add depth to it. So you've seen more of the east and west type slider. You saw the slider with depth. There's your fastball to the top of the zone, and then also a fastball to the bottom of the zone. And he likes to ride it in on the hands of right-handers, no doubt. He likes to sweep it away from left. See that? In on the hands of right-handers. And he likes to sweep it away from lefties in terms of his sequencing, at least from what I've seen so far. So good sequencing, a good set of mixes. That backdoor slider there, just kind of stealing strikes from that perspective. So there's Miles Cabba, again, a young man out of the University of Miami. Not super familiar with him, but kind of getting to know his game a little bit, and it's been a lot of fun to do because he's been good for Rancho. And then this is Ryan Brown, sneaking a fastball in there. His calling card is the Vulcan change. Came out of Ball State and he got injured. There's the Vulcan change. Wow, what a pitch that is. So the difference between hitting the fork ball is your index finger and middle finger. You split those two. The Vulcan change is your middle finger and your ring finger. Splits the two. And the great thing about this pitch for Ryan Brown, the Vulcan change, is that it has a mind of its own. See how it tumbled the first time? That one looked like a left-handed slider. So it tumbles sometimes it looks like a left-handed slider, and then sometimes it cuts. This is a pitch that Vulcan change had a 70% swing and miss rate. There's the left-handed slider looked at that Vulcan change. Had a 70% swing and miss rate at Ball State. His Vulcan change did. And there was a period of time at Ball State where he actually struck out 17% of 17 out of 20 hitters that he faced, 17 out of 20 in a stretch that he struck out. That's pretty darn impressive, if you ask me. And it's all off of the Vulcan change. So I wanted to show you the Vulcan change of Ryan Brown. He was injured. He's finally back this year. So exciting to see that change in action. And we're going to kind of bounce around a little bit because my posts are a little bit back and forth over the weekend. But this is Jorge Bonitz. Jorge Bonitz is a young man that the Dodgers, that has a lot of professional experience. He was drafted all the way back in 2017. You know, after 6 years of being in the minor leagues, you have the ability to become a free agent. And that's what happened to Jorge Bonitz. After his 6th year in the minor leagues, he chose to become a free agent. And then, like a lot of these free agents are doing, he signed with the Dodgers. Bonitz is 25 years old. He's been dominant at Tulsa so far. So kind of a name you want to put on your radar at this point, Jorge Bonitz at AA Tulsa, because he's yet to give up a run in his 7 relief outings so far. That's 8 innings total. Now, hey, again, just came to the organization, only 8 innings, not a whole lot to make out of that, but that's a lot better than getting off to a bad start, right? And then also, in those 8 innings, he has 14 strikeouts and an average against of just 148. He was drafted all the way back in 2017 by the Mariners, and then came to the Dodgers, signed a minor league contract in the offseason, chose free agency again, and actually before he got to the Dodgers, he went to Criollos de Caguas, and then decided to sign with the Dodgers from them. So he's had quite a journey to get to where he's at in the minor leagues with the Dodgers, and so that's super exciting. Jorge Bonitz, again, is a young man that at the AA level that you want to keep track of. And then we're going to cover James Outman here just real shortly here. 3 for 3 the other day. He has raised his average all the way up to almost 250. And between him and Andy Paez, they have been very, very hot. So this was as of Saturday, 3 for 3, 5 for his last 10, 2 doubles and a home run. And he's all the way up. I had it as 238 on this post. I think he's all the way up close to 250. So hope, again, James Outman still has quite a few strikeouts, so we're not going to go there or anything like that. But he is playing a lot better offense. And even if you don't think James Outman is a young man that is going to help the major league club for the Dodgers, at the very least, what you should be rooting for is, hey, maybe James Outman starts having such a great year with AAA Oklahoma City that other clubs take notice, and then maybe you can get a return for him in a trade. So lots of reasons to continue to cover James Outman at the AAA level, and he's doing a great job of just continuing to grind and starting to hit the ball a lot better. And then let's go back to the AA level. This is Ezequiel Pagan. Had a huge night Saturday night for AA Tulsa. Ezequiel Pagan had 3 hits, second home run of 2025. Kind of we mentioned Jorge Bonitz just a minute ago for AA Tulsa on the pitching side. This is kind of Pagan, the same story on the position player side. 24 years old, Ezequiel Pagan, signed by the Cubs back in 2018. He had been with the Cubs all the way until this last offseason. Again, after 6 years, he chose free agency, and then he signed a minor league contract with the Dodgers. So really good to see Ezequiel Pagan in the organization and trying to just adding some depth to the AA Tulsa Drillers, who got off to a really, really tough start to this year. and trying to turn it around just a little bit. But it has been a struggle for them. And we're going to bounce back up now to the AAA level. And this is old Wardo, another young man too, kind of like James Alman. You don't foresee him helping the major league club just because of the position he plays, which is the corner outfield spot, although Conforto has struggled. But this is a young man, Ryan Ward, 326. I haven't checked it after Sunday, but this is after Saturday. 326, ninth best batting average in the PCL. He has 31 hits on the year. That's the sixth most in the PCL, and an OPS of 903. So Ryan Ward has a walk rate of 10.7%, a strikeout rate at 17.5%, both very acceptable, especially considering that his ISO, which is a power index, is very similar to his strikeout percentage, and he has a WRC plus of 131. So it's been a great start for old Wardo, no doubt about that, and I wanted to make sure and get him covered. Now, as we bounce around, that's okay. We can handle it. It's kind of fun. You got to stay on your toes to kind of keep up with what level we're at. We are going to move now to the high A level and the Great Lakes Loons. This is my man right here, Carson Hobbs. I love this young man. He is going to hit 100 miles an hour at some point. Super talented young relief pitcher, explosive fastball, big-time breaking stuff, and just like Jack Dreyer, I mean, massively advanced IQ towards sequencing, and because of that, it allows him to execute at a higher level. And then also Carson Hobbs is super competitive. Look at that huge breaking ball. That is just absolutely ridiculous. Pair that with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Look at that breaking ball. I mean, he's just dropping bombs with that. This dude is super impressive, super competitive. So the results piece of it always is at the forefront for him because he's so competitive, but then he's so well balanced from just an overall perspective that he's a guy that can also understand the process piece in terms of just getting better every day. So Carson Hobbs, this is a guy I'm telling you right now, put Carson Hobbs in your Rolodex. He is that good, and I'm super excited about him. And if you saw Caleb Ferguson this weekend, we're going to bounce back down now to the single A level with Rancho. If you saw Caleb Ferguson this weekend with the Pirates, that should have reminded you of Christian Zazueta. Well, maybe not. If you're a prospect geek, it would have, because if you remember, Zazueta is a 20-year-old that the Dodgers got in the Caleb Ferguson trade. This is him right here. He was exceptional over the weekend. 5 innings in his start, 2 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. We talked again. Rancho is the best team in the organization at any level of throwing strikes. Christian Zazueta is another one of those that is adding to that. Zazueta has a fastball change slider. He's low 90s on the heater, kind of like Linan, not overpowering with it, but sequencing, location, movement, and then his changeup and slider have shown really good metrics. So I wanted to show you Christian Zazueta, who came over in the Caleb Ferguson trade at Fergie that we saw this weekend with the Pirates. And Zazueta had a really, really nice outing. And then another young man that is also pitching well. Another theme, this is Nicolas Cruz. No strikeouts, no walks. Again, we're still at the single A Rancho Cucamonga level. Nicolas Cruz, 2 innings pitched the other day in relief, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Again, another young pitcher in the organization that doesn't necessarily throw at 5,000 miles an hour, but can move the ball, he can locate and throw strikes. And then his fastball, although it's not like 1,000,000 miles an hour, it does have good carry to it. And he does a good job of throwing his slider for a strike. And again, I've got a message out to him to nail down his exact cruise or his exact mix. He has not responded back yet. When he does, I will get his exact mix to you. But it's a sliders type pitch, good carry on his fastball, and he has 4.1 innings pitched on the year. It does it. What I kind of wanted to concentrate on him was just the strike throwing aspect of it. And so here's another young pitcher at the single A level, an international prospect that throws a lot of strikes. So I thought Dodgers fans might be interested in the strike throwing ability of these young men. And then here's Michael Vilches. This is another young pitcher with Rancho who threw a scoreless inning for the Quakes over the weekend and has 11 strikeouts in 2025. so far in 6 innings. Again, another young guy that I'm efforting. I've got a message out to get the exact exact mix, but this is he is out of Curacao, and he made it stateside last year, played the Complex. He's a big part of the Complex League Championship, and then got moved to Rancho this past season. So that is Michael Vilches there. And so those are some of the young arms at Rancho, and that's going to do it today for today's Dodgers Daily Down on the Farm. I want to thank you for tuning in. Again, my name is Casey Porter, and as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.